Hello, hello. We are live with Terra Nullius Season 3. Make some noise, people. Ooh. So, we're here. We're ready to play some more Dungeons & Dragons. And after the intense emotional trauma that was this finale of Season 2, I think we're maybe recovered enough to delve some more dungeons.
I mean, really, the entirety of Season 2 was emotional trauma.
It was just emotional trauma. Season 1 was like lighthearted and fun and
kind of like Avatar.
Season 2 just... So that means Season 3 is going to be really heroic. I'm here for that. That's what this means.
I hope so.
Season 3 is going to be epic and heroic.
I think we need a hero right about now.
We need a hero.
Don't make me pick up the guitar and start playing it.
No, because then we get banned. Yeah, so as we usually do in this imaginary TV show, we see the opening credit sequence for Terra Nullius. We see all of your wonderful names next to your characters' wonderful names, and this time though, I think every season opening we've gotten a slightly different theme. Like the first one was very like happy and like piratey almost and adventure-y. Season 2's was a little darker. Season 3's is the darkest of all. It's sad, it's somber, it's the same theme, but it's like if before it was in a major key, now it's in a minor key. And it's just, you can tell there's something, it's haunting, there's something different about it. It has this shadow cast. And honestly, we're using a lot of the same, I think, clips, right? Like the same like jungle landscape and the same ocean landscape, but everything's just darker. We had a colorist come in and like shade everything differently this time. Everything's a little darker, everything's a little
grittier.
Yeah, grittier. Gritty is a good word for sure.
Brown and gray.
Yeah. And then we see the Terra Nullius like logo, and I think even the logo is a little bit, if I would have been thinking about this, I probably would have like made the actual overlays a little bit darker because that would have been funny. But yeah, I think even the Terra Nullius logo is like cracked a little bit, and like it's like as if it was made of stone. There's now like cracks in it, and yeah, it's almost as just if like where something was whole before, now it is broken. So many things are broken. But we continue on with this saga to Terra Nullius itself. I mean, we were in Terra Nullius before, but Terra Nullius has become a little bit less Terra Nullius. Now we're going to go to somewhere that's a little bit more Terra Nullius. And going to the mainland. The Yolotli Basin, as it is called by the locals. Oatly named it that for you guys.
Could you put that in the chat?
Yeah. Yeah, Oatly named it the Yolotli Basin. And I think... What
day is it?
Oh, yeah, so we see a picture, or like the shot of the coast. We see an island in the distance, like away from the shot, and we see like a nearer coastline, and we get some text on the bottom of the screen that says December 21st, 1492. So it's been a couple weeks. Yeah,
21st,
the 21st of December. Yeah, so it's been a couple weeks. It's closer to Christmas. But I mean, I don't think any of you will be celebrating Christmas while you're
That's
here.
what you think.
Okay. I mean, sure, you can celebrate Christmas if you want to. I have a feeling that...
By golly, we're coming to take this land. We have to force our traditions down their throat.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I have a quick question for you guys first to start off this. So, if you were going to the mainland, how would you have... Would you have gone around the north side of the island? Would you have gone around the south side of the island? Or would you have tried to go straight parallel across? There's 3 hexes that you could end up in. I'm just curious.
Can we see the map?
I think that depends on what the snake guy would have said.
Right.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
I want to go. I want to go where the fire people are. If there's like
I want to go where
The fire people are. I want to see them burning. Yep. Perfect. Yeah. So where would you have wanted to go? Like, so fire people?
Can we
first?
look back? Can we look real quick back at the bigger map real quick? I'm just curious on something.
The island?
The actual, yeah, just the one with just the island.
Mm-hmm. Gotta archive it now.
Oh, sorry.
Wow, Seth. Thought we were done with that place. No, it's fine. There we go.
By the way, stay tuned for Ari's version of the map where I print it off and then I draw in my little doodles.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for that.
Okay, that's the thing. The main thing is I was curious about where would the flesh be by now? The flesh tunnels.
It hasn't expanded too much.
Okay, because I was like, can we even leave from the middle?
Yeah, you can't go anywhere. It turns out the entire island has been engulfed in flesh. Sorry, guys.
Well, because also, like, we could say, like, if we wanted to go from the south side and finish exploring, like, the last hexes and have looked.
Oh, I assume that would have happened for sure.
Yeah, I would have assumed that happened.
Plus,
yeah, we can just say that we've revealed basically everything.
Plus, I mean, the
full island.
Toity would think that since the lizard people already have that port there, it'd probably be a good place to kind of set up camp, almost in a sense, while we were preparing.
Oh, right, yeah. So the island fortress was kind of like your base of operations
I would think that,
when
but I don't
we
know
were
if
setting.
others would.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then so you could just row across from there. Okay.
Like, on the coast, are we able to see the mainland? Like, is it that close?
It is. Let me just double check the distance here, and then one of you will probably have to tell me how the distance would work in here. How far away is the English Channel, like the France from England? Does anyone know?
Let me
Say that
Google.
It's like 5 miles between the mainland and the island of ocean.
That's not very far.
Yeah, I feel like you could probably see it in the distance. I mean, you could for sure see the mainland in the distance.
The shortest point of the English Channel is 20.7 miles.
Okay, yeah, so for sure. Yeah, you guys can definitely see the mainland and the island, vice versa. So would you have been going, so in terms of these hexes here then, if you're going from the lizard folk place.
Actually, I was sorry.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was just checking real quick. Apparently, the maximum distance you can see at ground level, at sea level, the horizon is at approximately 3 miles.
You wouldn't be at sea level. You'd be above sea level. From
Sorry, reading further. From an observer standing on a hill or a tower 100 feet in height, the horizon is at a distance is 12.2 miles. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
you could see the mainland from the fortress for sure.
Sounds good.
So would you have ended? So, sorry, Alyssa, you said you wanted to go to the fire people first, basically.
Well, yeah, we don't want to just like pull up and then be like, oh, it's all the snake people.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah, obviously, and obviously, so I guess then the question would be, did you want to try to find the? Oh, you know what we should start with before we actually get into like the opening scene of this. Let's do goals. Let's figure out goals first.
Okay.
Let's figure out what we're planning on doing, because then I can get a better idea of where you're headed. So we have decided to switch the XP system around a little bit, since we're not going to be focusing primarily on colonizing exactly as much as we were before. We're following these adventurers as they try to find a new god of death, ultimately. So we're going to do a little bit more of a goal-based XP system. So each of you have 3 goal slots that you can fill goals in with. And these goals can be short-term things, long-term things. You probably want at least one of each to get a good range here. And these are things that your characters want to accomplish. I mean, you could very easily write in map the mainland or kill monsters, right? Like that is honestly, you could just keep it being the exact same as we were doing before by just making all of your goals based on the same things, right? So getting treasure, killing monsters, mapping the island. that could be a thing. But yeah, it's just what your character wants to accomplish, and then my job as the GM is going to be putting things in your way to stop you from doing that. And so we're gonna tailor the encounters a little bit more towards the not deadly side, because it won't matter as much. Yeah, it won't matter as much just killing things, because you'll probably have many moments where you're just like, we're gonna run. We don't want to fight these people.
Is there any specific place you want these in our character sheet?
Probably the bio section somewhere.
But character backstory?
That's where I put mine.
Yeah, one of those, right? Yeah, something like that would be fine. Just somewhere where I could look at them. But we'll go through them at the beginning and end of every session. And so what we'll do now is we'll kind of figure out what your guys' goals are currently. And if you are unsure as to what they can be, we can workshop them a little bit. But then at the end of the session, we'll go through them again, see if you've earned XP. So if you work on a goal during a session, you get an easy encounter's worth. So I'm still trying to decide how I want to do this. So the way we did it in Anno Domini, it was as the encounters would be per person. It was 25 times your level, or 50 times your level, or whatever, like based on what difficulty it was. I think we'll stick with that for now, but given how I'm curious, I might just see how it goes, and I'm contemplating increasing that to 50 times your level and then scaling up from there, because it seemed like it took a little bit for Anno Domini to level up, but I'm not sure yet. I haven't done enough playtesting with it to know what the ratio should be. But so you'll get an easy encounter's worth if you work on a goal during a session, and then if you complete a goal, you will get either a medium, a hard, or deadly encounter's worth, or more possibly if you do something that's just insane, and somehow accomplish it. Like I don't know, maybe like making your amnesiac boyfriend fall in love with you again. I don't know, something like that. But, yeah.
What?
Might be something that's
Who would want to do that?
I know, like crazy, right? Like, why would that even be a thing?
I don't know. Don't look at goal number 3.
Can I get that on a t-shirt?
Don't look at goal number 3. Jordan,
Goal number 3.
Yeah, Jordan, would you turn down your volume just a tad bit? I think it's a little bit too loud now. But yeah, that's probably
too much. Okay,
I think it's fine. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the way it will work. A couple of stipulations. Just want to let you guys know how exactly it will work. To have worked towards a goal in a session, you'll have to make at least one roll towards it during the session, and that can be anything, but like at least one roll towards figuring out whatever it is, or going towards whatever it is, fighting something in the way of whatever it is. At least one roll.
Oh, sorry, I just realized something. Go ahead.
But yeah, so you guys can have secret goals. That is totally fine. You do not have to reveal them to all the players. This isn't.
I don't have a third goal, guys. What?
Yeah, this isn't Burning. We all expected that, Raya. This isn't Burning Wheel, so you don't have to tell them to everybody. But yeah, so let's go through and figure out what your characters want to accomplish, and this will help me too to kind of figure out the direction of this, because right now I have a general idea of the starting stuff here. There's going to be a couple of minor things that happen. We're going to obviously figure out what your character's been up to, who this Yolotli is that you guys have kind of mind controlled on your side, stuff like that, right? But your goals will really
control them?
I mean, you use
With the rod of rulership.
Oh, right. We did do that.
You did do
Oh,
that.
I haven't done it yet.
Yes, we were going to make the rolls at the beginning here.
Actually, that's actually one of my goals.
Yeah. But yeah, so this will help me figure out the direction where on the map you guys will probably end up going, so I can plan ahead and have stuff figured out. Because I still haven't gone. I mean, I only had a week to prepare this. I prepared as much as I think I could. I didn't have a day to really sit down and just like map out what is in the region specifically in terms of ruins and cities and all that stuff.
That's what random encounters are for.
Well, that's the thing.
What? There's a ruin here.
Yes, exactly. I did. There's specific things that I know I want to exist, but as far as anything else, it will be up to random stuff. I did revamp the random encounter tables, so those are different now.
Ooh.
I decided to do it in a little bit of a different way. I think will probably end up being better than the way it was before. But yeah, so let's go through goals. Let's figure out what you guys want to do, and then at the end of the session, we'll like see if you got any XP, and then change the goals. So we'll change the goals at the end of the session so that I'm prepared for next session if they have changed at all, for what could be coming up next. Okay, cool. So Seth, what are Toity's goals?
Well, I'm so glad you asked, because you reminded me of one.
Right.
First and foremost, since it's going to be happening right here early in the session, befriend the Yuan-Ti.
Right, yeah. So this guy's name is Meznan, by the way.
Meznan.
Meznan. Let me post it in chat. Meznan. Yeah.
That's my first goal, which hopefully will be finished by tonight. Second goal, probably a little bit more long term. Find Itokale's sister.
Yeah, find Itokale's sister. Yeah, that's a good goal.
And third, and I will say what this goal is, but I will not say necessarily my intentions behind it.
Okay.
Make a name for myself on the mainland.
Make a name for yourself on the mainland. Sounds good. That name could be many things.
That just spells trouble to me.
I mean, if Toity didn't already literally mean silly, I would say it means trouble. But cool. Yeah, no, those are great goals. I'm excited. I mean, obviously, Itokale's sister was going to be coming back at some point here. So that gives us a good direction for sure. It sounds like you guys are probably going to search out the fire people first, which makes sense. I mean, you guys need to find the cult of the dying flame probably a good first step, right? Because they were the ones who knew about all this stuff.
And that's the thing that has me worried now, because I just realized, wait, I have to run into more fire genasi who are seeing like, oh, you're wearing traitor's clothes.
You're the betrayer. Yeah, exactly.
That should be fun.
Okay, cool.
What is the Yuan-Ti? How do you spell that?
Then his name.
No.
How do you spell Yuan-Ti?
Yeah.
So I still don't know how to pronounce it. We've been pronouncing it so many different ways. But it's spelled this way. It's probably Yuan-Ti. That's how you pronounce it. Because if it was Yuan-Ti, it would be they first, probably. Yeah. So Emily, what are Raya's goals? Barring your non-existent third goal, obviously.
Number 1, find a new caretaker.
Okay, sure.
Number 2, find out more about the orb.
Okay.
What it does, what I'm supposed to do with it.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
And number 3, in all caps, what happened to Sabu? Or if we retcon it and people tell me already, in all caps, make Sabu fall in love with me. ... Again.
I mean, actually, that's a good question, Caleb. Can we have like group goals? Because I feel like finding a new caretaker is technically all of our goals.
Yeah, if you want to, we can have that. If you guys want to, we could have that be the quest for all of you, right? That is the group goal.
No, I need a new goal for myself individually. Okay.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, whatever.
Because when we finished off the last session, literally something like, this is why we're going to the mainland.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Seth, you literally just took like my actual goal that the orb gave me. So thanks.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna make my new goal being something about my emotions and trying to be an emotionally stable person. I don't know.
Be able to get through the day without crying.
Make it one day without crying. Well, so that's the thing, right? No, well, that's the thing, right? There's different stages of grief. So I think Raya's probably out of the crying all the time stage and into like, well, no, that's the thing. Eventually people just can't cry anymore about something like that. They just have to deal with it in other emotional ways.
Yeah.
Like Miggy's alcohol cabinet.
Yeah. Well, he didn't bring his cabinet with him. He probably brought something.
How do you know?
I was say you brought a whole.
I play
ship,
Miggy.
like...
That's how I know.
I know. I am Miggy.
No, I will not go that far. I am not Miggy. Okay, cool. Yeah, so like the quest that you probably all have, and so if you as a party work towards it during the session, then you'll get like an easy encounter's worth. Right?
I'll be back to you with my first
that's totally fine.
goal,
Yeah,
then.
get a new caretaker, caretaker, right? So, cool. Yeah, Alyssa, what are these goals?
complete 1 hex of exploration.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that's kind of like her goal is still to map out things and
of course.
whatnot. So when she's completed like 1 hex and has mapped out the whole area, and then that's one short-term goal, I guess. I mean, her whole goal is to do.
You can definitely, you'll for sure be able to do that this session. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the long-term, like, so here's the thing: the long-term goal is to get out of Lord Navarro's contract.
Right. Okay.
So this is her short-term goal within that long-term
leading up to it. Yeah, and that's totally a way you can do it too, right? Like if you want to get like smaller amounts of XP on the way there, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's kind of what I'm doing. So just so you know what I'm doing with that. Goal number 2: protect Raya.
Protect Raya. Yeah. As long as you protect Raya during a session, yeah.
Is that physically or emotionally?
I mean,
it could be either way. Yeah.
It could be either way.
Yeah.
We'll see. Probably mostly physically. She's not good at the emotions. And then honestly, I don't have a third goal. My third goal was to find a new caretaker, and we're doing that. So I don't know.
Totally fine.
I feel like I should have something like a goal like with Buck or something, but I don't know.
Teach Buck how to roll over.
Yeah, teach Buck.
So Alyssa, are you saying that Ari doesn't have a very high emotional AC?
Oh no, her armor class is fine. Her attack rolls are horrible.
No, that's just said like emotional AC.
Well, that would be Araya's emotional AC.
Yeah,
that would
be
kind of high. Yeah, just like her regular AC.
Yep.
But yeah,
that's fine. Yeah, we can.
I mean, Ari's main goal right now is to get out of the contract. That's her main goal. Because she wants to get her land. So.
Yep. Yeah, you just want to be done with all this. Don't want it.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's happy to have Darius back, but she's like, I mean, I still have my goal of just being alone.
Yep. Yeah, and that's totally fine, right? Like, this first session is for figuring some of that stuff out anyway, so totally cool.
I mean, maybe by the mid-session, when we've unraveled some new things, maybe I'll have
Yeah, and if you guys have a goal mid-session this session, that's totally fine. You can change that. I think that we probably won't do that in the future, but like for this session, I think that's totally cool. Okay, Jordan, which 3 have you chosen from Darius's Darius Death Knell, by the way. Darius the Undying Death Knell of Death, yeah.
Basically, Darius wants answers.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Darius needs answers, lots of answers.
Yep.
So, first off the bat, Darius wants to learn more about how someone actually becomes the god of death. But there's also a couple new things that Darius has to like figure out and learn. Like for example, second goal, Darius wants to discover his new abilities in his new body. He wants to discover like what he can do. He wants to learn more about kind of what he's able to do.
Yeah, sure.
And as a third goal, well, that's a bit of a secret.
Okay, sure. Yeah, do you want to?
I marked
You've
1,
marked
2,
it?
and 3 on the thing. So if you look at the, you'll see which one's 3.
I won't let the chat see it though. I'll keep it a secret for
it.
Chat.
Sweet.
Ooh, full on secret.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you gotta have a secret from chat. Oh, perfect. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I love that. I love that goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe you might want to change that more to be. Actually, not no, because that's something you can accomplish without a roll. Right. So maybe have a first good encounter.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Because you can just do it, and it doesn't. I realized I need to come up with some goals for Mickey. Because that's how he's gonna level up too. So
earn Ari's affections.
Oh god.
Honestly, that is definitely one of his goals.
Yes.
It is.
Learn how to make my own alcohol.
Become a brewer.
Brewmaster. Oh.
Yep, I have his 3 goals, but I'm not gonna tell you what they are. So.
I mean, we know what one of them is.
You know what one of them is, but you don't know what the other two are. Cool. Well, so you know what we should do? Let's go ahead and start with a bit of a flashback. Toity.
Yes.
Do you want to have a conversation with a certain snake person?
Oh, I'd love to have a conversation with a certain snake person.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun time to me. Yeah, so maybe we see that shot of the like coast, right? And we see like you guys in the distance like rowing up. And I think we see yeah, I guess we'll save the character descriptions for later. But we see you guys rowing in the distance, and then we get a flashback to this conversation. So basically, you walk in there. You use the rod of rulership, I assume, right?
Not quite.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay, yeah. So we see Toity walk into a tent, in which a tied up Yuan-Ti sits.
Are there guards there?
Yep, I would assume so.
Okay, I'm gonna turn to the guards, look to them, untie him.
Yeah, and they look at you. What do you mean untie him? I thought he was a prisoner.
He is a prisoner. But we need to talk, and I feel it would be a little easier if we untied him. I'm not saying let him get out of there. Don't get me wrong. But untie him. At least his arms.
All right.
At once!
Yeah, they just kind of look confusedly at each other, but nod and yeah, untie his arms from the chair.
They speak what's the language?
Primordial.
Primordial.
Yeah, they speak Primordial.
Okay.
Meznan can speak to you in that language.
So, did they untie his arms?
Yep.
Does he say anything to that? Like, what is he?
No, he's just kind of. So he's looking at you like a snake looks at someone. He has a snake head. Just as a reminder, I'll post his token just to remind everybody what he looks like. So he looks like this. So he's literally just like looking at you like a snake does and just flicking his tongue. Like it's very hard to tell what he's thinking or feeling.
I mean, can I roll perception to see if I have any idea what he's
yeah, it would be insight, but yeah, you could roll.
Insight.
Yeah.
To read a snake.
To read a snake.
Face.
Yeah, I mean, you've been around Yuan-Ti a little bit, so I think you gather that he's just contemplative. Like he's not really worried or scared. He's just curious.
I'm gonna reach into the back of my pack, pull out what's like a native fruit from the area.
That's a good question. What is a fruit native to Brazil?
Here, I got it.
Banana?
Let's say it's an acai fruit.
An acai, what's that?
Acai berry?
Acai, thank you. I have a horrible habit of only ever seeing words written out and not knowing how they're pronounced. So it's an acai berry. It's like a purplish berry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm one idea of what they. Okay, so
they're very small.
They look like little like small grapes.
If you
grapes.
want something bigger, you can get star fruit. Star fruit.
Sure, I'll pull out a star fruit.
Yeah,
okay. I pull out a star fruit and I just kind of put it. Is there a table in front of him, or is he just tied up in a chair?
Oh man, I forgot how weird star fruits look. Yeah, he's in a chair in the middle of a tent. Yeah.
Okay, so I just kind of put it on his lap. I'd say, here, this is for you.
He just kind of looks at it and then looks back up at you, flicks his tongue once. I am a carnivore.
Well, I'm sorry I couldn't sneak any meat out to you.
Just flicks his tongue again. Am I supposed to appreciate the gesture?
I don't see why not.
He just stares again.
Okay. I'll pull out my back. I'll flip through. I'll see if I can find a piece of jerky or something.
Yeah, you have a piece of jerky. I mean, it's...
So I find that's I'm like, here. I'm like, here, have this instead, and I'll take the star fruit and take a bite out of it. Since he's eaten, so I gave him.
Do you like star fruit? I mean, this is a weird fruit.
I don't know. I've probably eaten it at some point throughout this past.
Okay, sure. I'm just curious as to Miggy's reaction, or sorry, not Toity's reaction.
What does starfruit taste like? Actually, I don't know.
I don't know.
Bitter.
I've never had a star fruit.
Starfruit doesn't. Starfruit is not sweet. If I
Starfruit
remember right.
tastes tart, has a tart sour undertone, and it's slightly acidic.
So probably this is what'll happen. Probably what'll happen. I'll take a bite of the starfruit. Go, well, okay, I see why you're a carnivore on this island.
Yeah, and he's holding the jerky and he says, "And I prefer red meat."
Well, I'm sorry, it's what I had.
Yeah, he just kind of sulkily chews on the jerky. I mean, he just swallows it whole because he's a snake. He just swallows it.
Now, let's get talking. What should I call you?
Prisoner.
I see what you're doing, small one. I will not have a relationship with you, personal or professional.
Well, here's the thing. I'm the only one here who's probably... how do I want to word this?
I'm the only one here who doesn't want to kill you.
That's essentially what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to think of a better way to say it.
Yeah.
I'm
There's probably a better way to say that.
Yeah. How would Toity say this?
Look, I'll say, I understand you not trusting us given your whole situation right now. But here's the thing.
You mean the situation involving you killing my master and holding me prisoner?
Like I said, I understand.
How
Believe
could
me.
you? Have you ever been in a similar situation?
I
Why do you
flashback.
mention that?
Yeah.
More than once.
We see a half-naked Toity being dragged out of a tent by knights.
Like, I would say,
Believe me, more than you could understand. Listen here. I did not come here wanting to impart all this violence that has happened, and I am very sorry for everything that has had to happen to get to this point. But here's what I'm trying to say. While I understand you may not appreciate our being here at all, I do wish to have some sort of how do I want to say this? I don't want there to be any ill will between us. I realize how difficult that is, how ridiculous that sounds to you.
Yes, as I've mentioned before. Jerky will not change that, I'm afraid.
I'm not expecting it to change it. I just figured you'd like a change of pace while you were here. I want to make sure you're taken care of.
Unfortunately, that change of pace is being forced without legs.
Well, you see, I would let you loose if I could trust you with that, but right now, given what you're saying, I'm not so sure.
I was making a metaphor. Do you not have metaphors in your language?
wait, does he literally not have legs?
No, he has legs.
He
Okay,
has a human body.
He has a human body, he has a snake head.
I was confused. What
So what he was trying to, and I honestly think it went over Toity's head, and because, like, I think what he was trying to say was basically you were saying, like, we're trying to do a change of pace here, like, let's try to, like, talk about this, and he was like, it's impossible. This change of pace you're requiring needs legs, and this situation has no legs to change the pace of.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's I'm not quite used to all your colloquialisms. What would give it legs, by your understanding?
So I think he flicks his tongue again, and I mean, that insight check from earlier, you can see that his curiosity went up just a little bit. Like, he's thinking about it. He's like, wait a second. I mean, okay. I mean, I could use this to my advantage. Like, I don't have to die here. Let's see, kind of a thing. And he says, what are you offering?
Well,
a mighty backhand.
Because have we at this point have we cleared out the island, or are we planning on clearing out the island?
We can say that it is. Yeah.
Let's face the facts. The island here is essentially lost to your kind. But what I could see about doing is if if there's cooperation between us, I could see about getting you to the mainland safely.
Is there a catch to this offer? It seems like there's a catch.
Catch.
I mean, actually, would here's the thing. Toity is saying this technically with no jurisdiction.
Oh yeah, for sure you are.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
usual. Like usual.
I was like, by my hands there will be no catch. I will do my no. Here's the thing. Like
He's a snake. He sees right through that.
here's the thing. He's like, I will do my best to talk to my superiors and see about getting you safely to the mainland without any catch, if you cooperate and help us with information and all that kind of stuff.
I can see that as being a favorable trade. But I would need assurance first. I suggest you speak with your superiors and get that assurance before we have more of a conversation.
I will do I will do just that. Probably not at this point because I'm guessing it's like late. Isn't it late at night? I forget.
I mean, we can just flash forward to that. Yeah. So
Okay.
basically, you want to ask, just expedite this. I mean, just roll persuasion for Navarro. Right? Like, yeah. Let's just see.
Persuasion plus 10. Help me out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean that Navarro's fine with that. It seems like a good proposition.
That's absurd to me. You just rolled a 9, but with your
Yep.
I have double. I'm pretty sure I have double proficiency in persuasion.
On a crit fail, he gets an 11.
That's
Yeah.
absurd.
No. On a crit fail, I get to re-roll.
Oh, that's fair.
Oh
Because
my gosh.
he's being a halfling.
Oh, I don't think they're seeing the rolls.
Oh, I switched over to it, and then switched back.
Okay.
I'll switch
I got
back
it.
again. I went
Technically,
there
I
briefly.
rolled a 9, but I got a 19.
Yeah.
So, actually, I'd probably ask that Lord Navarro himself says this to him, just to solidify with the guy. Just like we'll do this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. So he says, "What sort of information do you desire?"
Well, you see, we don't really know that much about the mainland. Help on that would definitely be appreciated. Where different tribes reside, the basic layout, that sort of thing. And actually, and how much do we? Actually, also, I'd probably talk to the others and see about what kind of information they would want as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we just ask questions, right? Like, what do you guys want to know?
I want to know basically what you just said, the basic outline of the map. Like, if you could draw like a basic outline of it and then show Mark on there like where certain things are. That to his knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. So what I will do is I'll try to have that set up for next time. Something like that. Let me reveal a little bit more.
Because obviously he's not going to know where everything
Right.
is. But he'll know probably the major landmarks. How big the island is.
Yeah.
Or the mainland is comparatively to this small island, so on and so forth.
Oh, and we can assume at some point he gave me his name since we technically already.
Yep.
His name is Meznan.
Yep.
Toity, would you have come to Raya to ask what she would want to know from him?
I would have asked everyone what they want to know. I'd probably say like, tell Lord. Probably what happened is like we had like a little meeting with everybody like at the end of the evening, and like the next day we came to questions and whatnot. And I make sure this guy's taken care of. Like he's helping us out. I gave him my word. He is getting to the mainland unscathed.
Mm-hmm.
I think Darius wants to know what they know about the orb and about the god.
That's
of death.
so true. That's a good one.
Okay. Not much more. I mean, most of the information I think he reveals to you about that is stuff you've already gotten. Like the basics of it are similar. Obviously his story is like Ix's, right? Like their story is the god of death was like, he was planning on doing something horrible, and she of the Jade Skirt stopped him and tried to take the orb. That's the standard Yuan Ti story. Any more like what specifically do you want to know about it?
I guess, like, do they know anything we don't would probably be the idea, I think.
I mean, he really reiterates what the caretaker was saying about the situation. Like, basically there are, I mean, the 7 serpents are actual people. There are 7 of them. They are the leaders of the kingdom of the empire, like the empire,
did
right?
we kill one of them?
No, no. That was a very minor person in the ranks of this kingdom.
Great.
So I think he reveals, he reveals that the guy he worked for was the emissary, right? Like the major domo, maybe, of one of the 7 serpents, more like a field leader sort of thing, like a mission leader for one of the 7 serpents. They are all Yuan Ti. They're very powerful. They all constantly scheme against each other. And basically what it is they're all kind of working together, but also kind of working like competing with each other to get the orb so that one of them can become the god of death. That's
right.
kind
so
of
they
their
want
thing.
a Yuan Ti to become the god of death, but
they want them to be the Yuan
They
Ti.
want to be it. Yeah.
Yes.
Got it.
And so
which one was he working for specifically?
yeah, so he
That's
was
nice.
working for let me generate a name for this person. Meznan works for a 7 serpent named
Well, the guy who he was working for was the emissary of this.
No. I'm talking about
but like
which the
ultimately
7
which
serpent.
7
Yeah.
serpent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he works for a she is called I'm trying to think, what would be a good title for this person?
While you're at it, just give us all 7 names, but I want to know which one he was working for.
Yeah, just make 7 names.
I will not.
Honestly,
I could give you them, but not now.
No, that's fine. I'm just
Right.
saying.
I already
so you
made
know,
a
we
special
want that
place in my
information.
notebook
Oh,
to
no, for
write
sure.
the 7 serpents' names down.
Yeah.
I already made that list.
Yeah,
in my
I haven't.
area.
Honestly, that's probably one of the things I should have prepped for this session, but I'll make sure I have that for next session
Okay,
for sure.
I gotta go. I'll be right back, guys.
Let's see. Villain title. The name of this person is it's a female. Arendira is her name. And
Dira, the endearing.
yeah. I need a good like crazy title name generator here.
The one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater.
Ooh, World Destroyer names. That sounds like a good.
That sounds like a great name generator.
It is a great name generator. Oh, I love this name. Okay, so her title is the Radiant Unmaker.
Ooh.
Yeah,
The Radiant Unmaker.
the Radiant Unmaker is her title.
All right.
Yeah, and so each of these 7 serpents have a particular theme to them. Hers is like celestial in nature, right? Like she has like radiant. Like if you were guessing as D&D players, she would be using radiant damage somewhere, right? Like it's very she has this like weird like angelic theme about her. She's obviously, I mean, like not angelic. She's not good. None of these people sound good. But yeah, she has this weird like angelic sort of air to her title.
I want to ask the Yuan Ti what happened to his face. No, I'm kidding.
I was born like this.
Sucks to be you.
I was born this way.
I mean, I feel like all the questions would be filtered through me. So that.
Darius, I know you've been dead for a while, but that's just mean.
I mean,
yeah.
also, would you be able to even communicate with him? Because Darius, do you speak primordial?
What?
Actually, that's a good question. Do you speak what languages do you have? Because he speaks primordial.
Primordial? I mean, Darius never Shut up, let's go on, move on with the game, guys.
Now he does!
Okay, this got interesting. I'm like, Darius, what the frick?
Yeah, he
Sorry.
says it in primordial, and you realize he said it in primordial. And
Wait, what?
Yeah, Jordan wanted that to be a little bit more of a reveal, but it's fine.
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
It's okay. So,
Yeah,
guys,
it makes
third
sense. It would have
goal.
come up.
So I would just like to point out that primordial is going to be the next language that Ari learned.
Yeah, that's good. Then everyone will know it. Sounds like a good plan.
It's so
I
sad you
won't get
picked
it
oak.
until 14th level, but yeah.
Oh no!
That was so sad you picked oak. You couldn't even use it.
I know, but that's the thing that, well, I mean, I could have if we didn't just like skip through the whole, oh, we're going to be peaceful with each other thing.
Well, so
That could have been a cool reveal,
so question then. Since it never even came up, I'm totally fine with Ari switching to primordial if she wants to. If you want to switch to humanoid to like as your favored enemy, is that a thing you can do?
I mean, I don't feel right retconning that, to be honest.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, that's fine.
it's
It
just
just
because like
come
there
up,
was like
really.
the whole thing with like talking to Oatly.
Oh, that's
and,
true. Yeah,
like,
you're
it
right.
just doesn't make sense. Like, it's fine. It's
Well, hey,
Don't
maybe
worry,
that's the reason to run into more ogres.
You'll come across giants. Don't worry.
cool.
Will they be geeky giants?
I mean, these ogres came from somewhere, right? Like,
Geeky giant.
yeah. So yeah, any other questions about orb or seven serpents or anything like that? What do you want to know?
Where are they?
So
Their hideouts and stuff.
the entire Yolotli Basin is run by them. This is they have an empire. They conquered a bunch of people. They're still in the process of conquering. There are lots of tribes in the outskirts that are yet to be conquered. But basically the basic layout of the basin is that there are two main rivers that kind of run from from the there's like a mountain range. Let me show this with the ruler. So there's like a mountain range here that kind of like goes this way.
Okay.
Enclosing the basin this way. And there are rivers that run from the mountains to the ocean. They're two main rivers,
Okay.
and they have branches and stuff. And there's like a bunch of swamp and jungles all throughout this stuff.
Got it.
And basically, the Yuan Ti originally came from somewhere this way, up north. And so I think in the aerial shot of I think we get an aerial shot of Earth in the beginning of this session, and I think this is the first time that we notice
Aerial shot of Thry.
right of Thray.
Thray.
Yeah, you're right. This is the first time I think we've gotten that, at least of this particular part of Thray, and the map looks a little different than we're used to. So I mean, South America does not look the same. So there's a big chunk of it that doesn't exist. Basically, let me double check what country this is. That is above Brazil here. Venezuela doesn't exist. The entire country of Venezuela is ocean.
Oh my God, is that where the fire people lived? They lived in Venezuela, and then the island just like
Well, yeah. So I think you guys remember. I mean, and maybe this comes up in the conversation with Meznan. You guys remember the old folklore about she of the Jade Skirt using the orb to attack she kind of sunk part of the world. So yeah, there's a big chunk of Venezuela doesn't exist. So.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Now a moment of silence for Venezuela.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a thing. But I mean, honestly, you as characters probably don't necessarily know that there was ever. You could disbelieve the mythology, right? You could be like, maybe there was never.
Kind of like Atlantis.
But yeah, it's like that. It's kind of like that. They used to have this kingdom, and this is where the Fire Genasi, this particular group, the Tlacnoli, live. But yeah, they were conquered by the Yuan-Ti, and the Yuan-Ti kind of have made their they kind of control mostly.
They have gained dominion.
Yes, they have. But mostly over, like, the closer you get to the mountains, the closer you get to the Yuan-Ti.
I would also.
The closer you get to the mountains, the closer you get to
so the further west you get, west you get.
So so the further, like, along the coast, they don't. Yeah,
the closer you get to the ocean, the farther away you are from them.
What about the Cult of the Dying Flame?
Now the cult of the so the Fire Genasi are kind of all over the place in this basin. Mm-hmm. They primarily live along the river, though. So you get a picture of the Fire Genasi culture. So they live basically originally, right? They kind of just lived near the river, and they were fishermen. They're primarily fishermen. But there are some volcanoes. This is a volcanic mountain range. And so they were always kind of viewed as sacred. They were used for rituals. And the Cult of the Dying Flame is kind of a bit of a mystery. I mean, if you ask them about it, nobody knows exactly where they are. They used to have a prominent temple in the very southern part of this mountain range, basically inside of active volcano. That's where the old priesthood used to, like, do their rituals and stuff. But that's since been taken over by one of the seven serpents. That seven serpent is kind of fire themed. Basically, he's taken over the, like, flame theme from the Tlacnoli and made it his own. And so, yeah, he's taken over their old temple, but they're somewhere. Meznan is a very low-level lackey here. He has no clue where they could be. But, I mean, you could... I'm sure some Fire Genasi know, right? Like, you'd have to find some Fire Genasi that would talk to you and try to piecemeal that, try to gather information, try to figure out where some agents of the Cult of the Dying Flame could be, because, unfortunately, all of the Cult of the Dying Flame that existed on this island got eaten or had their brains devoured, something like that.
So they got eaten or they got eaten.
I mean, not all of them got eaten, but most of them got eaten.
Yeah. If somebody had their brain devoured, would you be able to speak with dead?
That is a really good question.
Probably not.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think that probably would...
Well, what speak with dead?
Okay, it says you grant the semblance of life and intelligence to a corpse of your choice within range.
Does it say anything about the corpse itself, like what condition
the corpse must still have a mouth and can't be undead?
That would be a problem then.
Well, because didn't she turn into an undead? Isn't that?
Did she?
I mean, you could probably just kill her again. If she did. I don't think. Yeah, I think if you. No, I don't think so. I think there was some magical thing that the guy who ate her brain did that, like, robbed her of anything that she could offer. Maybe Riot does. You could probably maybe find the corpse and cast the spell on her, but it would basically the mouth would just, like, gibber.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, you could do a different one. You could do a different Fire Genasi.
You could have just destroyed their mouths to make sure that no one does it. Pretty simply.
That's true. I think they might have, honestly, or just gotten rid of the bodies, had their dinosaur eat it or something. I don't think you find any Fire Genasi, either way, that are helpful to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wondering.
Yeah, one of the titles in this World Destroyer name generator is the Asphyxiator of Souls. I'm so into these names.
That would be Darius. Thank you very much.
Only if you have that the one axe.
Yeah, I gotta find one that has to do with like fire for this dude.
I feel when you cast Burning Hands when you turn on the sink and you don't realize that it's still.
So it's something about a phoenix.
Right.
A flying phoenix.
Yeah, the Phoenix. Oh, it could be the Phoenix Calvinus was trying to get.
Bum.
And then it turns out that one of the seven serpents is actually
his name is totally the World
Todd
Igniter.
Bolo. Oh.
Yeah. These guys. Okay, so I think you get Toity. You get a picture of these seven serpents. They are way up on themselves, and they all think they are the coolest things in sliced bread. Like.
Does he have an actual
This guy
name?
thinks he's the hottest thing.
Or does
Yeah, he thinks he's the hottest thing since the volcano.
Does he have a name before the World
He
Igniter?
does. Yeah, and his name is. See, the problem with most of these names is some of them are just impronounceable.
So he's the one that's closest to the beach, right? Everybody, all the other seven serpents.
The World Igniter, no, he's actually the furthest, almost the furthest one away from you. So he's in the southern part of the mountain range, so it's like all the way down here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was more towards like the shore.
No, so the Radiant Unmaker, Arendira, is where would she be? She's actually like here, somewhere around here.
Okay, interesting. So far away.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the mainland is pretty big.
It's reminded me of that C.S. Lewis quote. Chronicles of Narnia. Is the world dear? Did you think it would be
No
small?
wonder it took him so long to find the orb.
Yeah, the World Igniter's name is Zanzadel.
Oh, and there goes Emily.
There goes him.
Welcome back.
So
That was my front gate. So
it might be good to take a break shortly.
right. Yeah, did you want to do that, Em?
yes, please.
Okie dokie. Well, yeah, I think that's. Well, do you have any last questions here? Are we done with the interrogation here, or?
I wanted to make it less of an interrogation, but yes,
Right.
I think I've.
And I think anything else we can probably like figure out that after the fact, right? And just be like, oh, we would
kept
ask
him around for like
I mean,
however long it took us to get there.
well, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, he's still with you right now, like as we open up the session. So, well, cool. So we've gotten a little bit of a flashback. I think, right? We fade out as we see you guys rowing towards the mainland, and we'll pick up with our Intrepid Adventurers and see how they've changed. Yeah,
I think as we're rowing into the mainland, Darius is just going.
Oh my gosh! If Rye hears that, she just like starts crying.
Oh no. Well, I think we'll get to that. We'll open up with that next time. We'll see how that goes. All right, so stick around. We'll be right back with more Terra Nullius right after this.